Hello, friend. I am happy to have you back with me. One, because I'm just happy to have you back with me. And two, I know that you clicked on this episode because you're curious of learning a little bit more about yourself. You're interested in building a different relationship with yourself, or you're just interested in being a healthier human being in general. And I love that for you. Now, for those of you who don't know what No Toxic Shit November is, here we are. Let me tell you. No Toxic Shit November was, or the objective of it is to do intentional work on yourself to become a better version of yourself. It is you getting to know yourself in a different way, to build or rebuild a connection with yourself, a relationship with yourself. It is addressing certain things that you've been meaning to address, but have been like, oh, I'll get to it one day, or have just been holding onto it and letting it linger in your space to whatever capacity that it has been, and has been affecting your spaces to whatever extent that it has been. It is finally making intentional decisions to move forward, upgrade, move to the next step, like all of the above. That's what this month is the beginning of. Like, even though it is named No Toxic Shit November, it is not reserved just for November. November is just the beginning stages of preparing for you intentionally figuring out what those things are for you, so you can continue to do the work until you get to whatever point of life or point of yourself that you're searching for or reaching for. You with me? You got it? All right, let's get into it. So in order for you to start applying this to yourself, you have to start paying close attention and listening and just being willing to learn certain things about yourself that you may or may not like. But you have to start thinking and being real honest with yourself. Like, what are some things that are holding me back? What are some things that are stopping you? What are some things that are not contributing to your growth or your healing or just your evolution? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are some things that annoy you about yourself? What are some things that annoy other people about yourself? Like, I can go on and on. What are some things that are holding you back from getting that promotion? What are some things that are holding you back from being single? What are some things that are holding you back from starting that business? You know what I'm saying? Like, literally all of the above. Like, these are things that you have to answer for yourself and be honest with yourself. Because I mean, you can lie to me all day, but at the end of the day, you got to answer to yourself. So it's about being willing to be open with yourself. If you don't want to be open with anybody else, you have to be open with somebody, and that somebody ultimately should be yourself. So this is the time. So you take some time for yourself to start thinking about that, start writing some things down. Now, I would like to give the disclaimer that this will not be as easy for many people, or it won't be as easy. Like, it will be different for everybody, because some people have some heavy shit that may come up for them. Some people may not. Like, some people may have been just working on themselves in general, and this is just adding to more things that they need to work on. But more specifically, to whatever extent, some of the things can be uncomfortable. Some things can bring up some memories or some feelings that you have not allowed yourself to process in a way that could have been or should have been. So you have to be prepared to receive whatever comes up for you, and having to learn how to navigate that for yourself, and to be able to extend that same level of support and grace for yourself, because whatever comes up and you don't like it, it is not the best thing to make yourself feel worse about it, or to make yourself wrong for it, or to fall into the pit of self-blame, you know, like this is you have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional about being there for yourself right now. And being there for yourself sometimes just means listening and learning and seeing what's about to happen next, you know? I would suggest at whatever point to start writing down certain things that come up for you, like three to five different things that, like, you know, just shows up that you start thinking about, that's just like, oh yeah, I need to address that, or oh yeah, I want to know more about that. Like, just write them down as they come. I'm a person who writes a lot of things in my notes. If you want to be that person, I'm trying to get more into like actually writing down and journaling, but do whatever works for you. But I do recommend whenever or if ever anything comes up, when you start paying more attention to these certain things, write them down. If you already have an idea of some of the things that you want to work on, if you want to break them down into categories like I did, I highly recommend it, because it gives you just a better idea of like, okay, right here, this is for this, and this is what I'm going to do in regards to this, and this is right here, and this is what I'm gonna do in regards to this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ultimately it starts with paying attention and then writing down the things and then putting them into the category, but whatever works for you. If you don't need a category, then don't need the category. But this is for people who need the category. If we're focusing first on the physical aspect, for example, your physical body, start thinking about the things that you're consuming. Like, we grown. We know the things that are not the best for us. The fried food, fast food, the salty food, the sweets, the junk food, you know, all of that. Like, even though in our mind we think that it makes us feel good, it doesn't. It's not good for us, especially if we're doing it consistently, like more than we eat the things that we're quote unquote supposed to, like, you know. So if that is a thing for you, if that is those things that are not the best for you, if that is the largest percentage of your diet, then you know that primarily, to some extent, you have to change it. I mean, I'm not asking you to go to full like keto or pescatarian or vegan, but there are ways to start slowly in small increments incorporating a change in your diet. Are you active? Are you working out? Do you want to be? How do you feel about your body? You know, like, these are things to consider. So when you start answering these certain things, it's like, all right, I'm not as active as I want to be, and I'm not happy with my body. So how can I change that? Write it down. Write it down. So what is your appetite like? What is your energy level like? Do you need more sleep? Do you need to start eating more? Do you need to start eating less? Like, these are all things. If you feel yourself or you know that you need more sleep, then make it happen. Or, you know, like, there's always I know it's like the thing, like the idea that we don't have enough time, but we do. We just have to change some things around, but you have to be willing to do it. You have to be intentional about doing it and figuring out what works for you. Another category example is behaviors and habits. Some of the things that you do that you want to stop doing, that you want to do less of, that you want to do more of. Are you a procrastinator? Are you a person that says they're going to do something and then don't do it? Or they put something off until the absolutely last minute? Are you a person who makes impulsive decisions or does a lot of excessive spending? Do you get distracted easily? Are you a liar? Like, the list goes on and on. But whatever you learn about yourself, those are the things that you have to start picking through and figuring out real ways, like real intentions, real goals, real steps that you know that you're going to take to start seeing a change and reaping the benefits of doing this intentional work. Getting into some examples of behaviors. If you struggle with communicating properly, if you're one of those people who listens to respond instead of listen to receives, if you're someone who makes the other person wrong all of the time, if you're the person who feels the need to get the last word, if you're petty and you know it, clap your hands. if you use defense mechanisms instead of actually participating in productive ways of responding or interacting with people. If you're toxic, because that's why we're here, right? That is the key word of this month. If you're toxic and you know it, come on now. And if you, well, that was for the people who know that they're toxic. Like, can name, if I ask them what are some of your toxic traits and you know it, yes, the things that you have listed. When I say that start working towards writing them down and then taking some steps to see how you can change these or improve these, or you know what I'm saying? Just any possible behaviors that are causing any type of disruption, discomfort, unhealthiness, that are getting in the way of you maneuvering, you upgrading, etc., etc. Like, anything that comes to mind that is causing damage to any area of your life, write them down and start working on it. And I'm not playing. Like, it's time. And if you're going to take this journey with me, I need to know that you're ready. And if you're ready, that you're willing to take the steps and do the work for yourself. All right, now, like I said, it's about to get real. I hope you're ready for the realness. I hope you're ready for what's going to come out of it. I hope you're ready for the good days, but I especially hope you're ready for the not so good days, the uncomfortable days, the bad days, the day that you don't feel like it, the days you feel yourself wanting to revert back to your old ways, your old self, the days that you are being tested and trialed, because that is going definitely to be a thing. You know, once we start working on ourselves, then in order to know that you're learning, in order to know that you're able to apply what you're learning, you have to take a test. That's what we learn in school. That's what school is about. So that's what the quote unquote school of life is going. That's what's going to happen. You're working, you're paying attention, you're ultimately trying to get better. So in order for you to get better, you have to pass the test. And I'm not saying that you're going to pass the test every time, because that's unrealistic and it's just not going to happen. But as long as, my advice to you and my hope for you is that you see the difference. Because even though the change might not happen tomorrow, because you are starting to see yourself differently, allowing yourself to feel differently about yourself, changes is bound to happen. To whatever small percentage or large percentage is going to happen. So allow that change to happen and choose yourself at the end of the day. If you feel the need, if you have the urge to not want to work on yourself because people around you are not working on themselves, do it for yourself. Don't do it for them, because ultimately you working on yourself and becoming a better version of yourself, you will start to see how you and the people that you're around, or just a lot of people, or just things in general, like a lot of the spaces that you're entering into are no longer serving you, or you're outgrowing that space, and that's okay. So doing this work ultimately upgrades you in many different levels, not just with yourself, but also with your surroundings, with your environment, with what's going, like whatever you end up in a year or 2 or 10 years from now. Like that is what we're working towards. You feel me? I just said a lot, but I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I see you, I hear you, and I'm excited for you. I am rooting for you. I am happy for you. Never forget that. All right, friends, it's been real. I've enjoyed talking with you, talking to you. I hope what I said was received. And I'm also excited to hear what comes up for you, what you write down for yourself, what you're willing to start working on, what you are hoping to get out of it, etc. And please feel free to share. I would love to read and learn more about you and hear about the work that you're doing and how it's helping, how it's not helping. Like, please, if you feel comfortable, leave it in a comment. My email address is provided. Hit me up, please, because I like I said, I would love to know. I would love to know about the work that you're doing for yourself. With that being said, there is no growth inside of the comfort zone, so let's get uncomfortable. I'll see you next time.